Hi, tonight I will be making a sort of pork and beans stew. In my large pot I have a couple of tablespoons of olive oil heating, and I want to get my spices blooming in the hot oil before I do anything else. A couple of tablespoons of cumin, about a tablespoon of smoked paprika, a teaspoon of dry ground mustard, and just a touch of nutmeg. Then you just want to stir them into the oil, keep an eye on them. We're waiting about 30 seconds until they become nice and fragrant. Then we can add a chopped onion and about 6 cloves of garlic. We just want to let those go for about 5 or 10 minutes until they're starting to get translucent. Don't forget to give the onions a little salt and pepper. After about 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and add about 1/3 of a pound of chopped crimini mushrooms. You want to give the mushrooms a little bit of time to let out some of their liquid. If you're afraid the pan is looking a little dry, go ahead and add a little more olive oil. When you first add the mushrooms, they'll soak up all of the olive oil in here. But as they cook, they'll start to re-exude that along with some of their own water. Once they've had about 5 minutes to do that, you can go ahead and add the meat. I have about 1.25 pounds of boneless pork chops here that I've just cut into cubes. A little salt and pepper for the pork. And now I'm just going to let the pork brown on all sides. Now I want to be sure that any of the brown bits stuck to the bottom of the pan get broken off, because those are flavor and I don't want them to burn on. So I'm just going to use a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons of cider vinegar, and let that help me scrape all the stuff off. Now I think we're ready to add the rest of our ingredients. Got some carrots, potatoes, make sure those get a little bit of salt and pepper, and then we're ready to add the beans. Use whatever you like. I've chosen a can of garbanzo beans or chickpeas, black beans, red kidney beans, and great northern beans. I just want to give this all a good mix. Try and get them all coated a little bit with the spices that are in there. Add water to cover, a couple of bay leaves, a couple of teaspoons of dry marjoram, and a good tablespoon or so of Worcestershire sauce. Now we'll just let this come to a boil. Once it's come up to a boil, I'm going to reduce the heat to low, put the lid on it, and let it go for half an hour, 45 minutes, just until the potatoes are tender. I'm going to stir it occasionally and check on the potatoes and see how close we are. It's been about 45 minutes, and now a paring knife inserted into one of the potatoes goes in quite easily. So I think it's safe to call the soup done. I'm going to turn off the heat, and I have about a 5-ounce container of Greek yogurt that I'm going to put in here. Then I'm going to mix that in really well. Then I'm just going to let it stand for a little bit until it's cool enough to eat. So there you go. If you have a chance to try it, I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. Thanks. We'll see you next time.